You can start with page 30 on Ron's here.
Hold on just a minute, please. You start the time on it. What do you have?
There's everything I'm fixing to talk about. Okay, what I'm providing there is some affidavits name, also some depositions of people who saw the whole thing and saw that man assault me without no provocation whatsoever. One of the girls who worked for him, Lindsay Hammond, came testify and got him charged with the aggravated felony. And like I said, I've been being.
Sir, if I may interrupt, do you have an attorney?
I do. As far as I can tell, he ain't doing.
Well, I don't know if you obviously have a right to speak. You may want to consult your attorney before you.
Yeah, well, this has been going on for 3 years. I keep getting promised next month. And what they're going to do is just keep on till all the witnesses disappear and everything else. And people need to know what's going on. There's affidavits in there from other people that this man's assaulted. I've been the first one. I'm in the fifth one. He's assaulted. He's paid people off before of these assaults. I have all this information in here. That's why I brought copies of it. This is an ongoing thing with him. And the thing is, the county and the hospital and the city can all use him to do business with him. If that's where we want to send our money, I want you to know what you're sending to. You're sending to a thug. And he's accusing me of being in drugs and all this kind of stuff. His brother just signed a marijuana bill. They've been flying it in over Eccles County for years. This all needs to be said. He brought this up. I didn't bring it up. You can read the depositions yourself. But if they want to play dirty, we can do it.
Let me say something here. You know, the court system here is under the county.
Right.
So
I'm going to everybody who has to.
So you know, we don't have a lot to do with that. You know, and so what I would suggest you do is I would suggest you consult with your attorney, like Mr. Tanner said, and then go to the county and express your dissatisfaction with them.
I've been to the courts, the county, this body, and everything else. This fellow right here has been with me the whole time. There's another fellow here, I won't call him out, but he's my pastor in my church. And I don't know where else to go. All I know to do is try to get the court of public opinion. I'll give you the records, you can read it for yourself. The man's sitting there making N-word jokes and everything in the deposition. He's so haughty and thinks it's funny. And you can take the depositions and read them. I won't read them out loud because they're so ugly. But he's sitting there making N-word jokes, admitting to assault people before, and he busted my eardrum. I'm a musician. I don't need that. I need some help. I need to get myself fixed up from this assault. And everybody who has anything to do with it needs to know.
We will. Give me your last name again.
Charles Judge, J-U-S-G. And I promise I'm not up here just to make trouble for no reason. This is being covered up, and that's why I'm up here. And this may be the only way.
And did you say you had an attorney?
I do. His name's Jody Peter.
Judge? Okay, we'll have Mr. Tanner consult with him. Thank you very much.
Thanks for y'all's time. I appreciate that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to come forward and speak?
My name is Floyd Rose, and my current address is 411 Orange Street here in Valdosta. Back in July, I believe it was, this past summer, we appeared before this council and asked you to rename Forest Street, that's currently named after Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. And we asked that it be renamed after Barack Obama. That was almost 6 months ago. I received a call from the city manager, and I met with him and with you, Mr. Mayor, in his office. And I was told then that whatever we did, it didn't matter because it would be up to the city council. We have heard nothing since then. I have not. Now, I just want to know what y'all want to do. If you're going to vote on it, just vote on it. If you vote no, then vote no. If you're going to vote yes, vote yes. But tell us something. Just don't let us be hanging like this.
Reverend Rose, we have a process that y'all have not gone through.
Yes, we did. No.
You
Yes,
never
we
came
did.
up with a number of
You
names.
changed the rules.
We didn't change anything.
Yes, you did.
So
We did.
unless that
Everything.
process has gone through, we have no reason to vote.
We did everything the city charter asked us to do. You changed the rules. Don't say you didn't because you did. I know you did, and you know you did.
No, sir, we didn't. I'm one of these that's fair to everybody. We didn't change any rules, I assure you of that.
But what happened?
Y'all didn't present enough names. You didn't have the 30-something. You had to have 171 names. You didn't present anything
We
like
did
that.
everything we were asked to do, and you changed the rules. Don't say you didn't, you did.
But I'm sorry you feel that way.
I know you did. And the city manager told me that it didn't matter what we did anyway because it would be up to the city council. And Valdosta, Georgia is the only place I know in this country that has a problem doing that. They've done it in Florida, and they've done it in northern Georgia, they've done it in Chicago, they've done it everywhere but South Georgia. And I don't understand that.
We have a process that you're required to go through, I'm sure, and we
I'm not
have
doing
not
that.
changed that process in
Why-
any other situation.
Why
Every one
don't you,
we've changed,
the member
we've
of
done
council
that.
do
So
it? I'm not going to do anything.
when we, well,
Because this is the only place I know where every position of power is held by white folk. Every one of them. The mayor's white, the city manager's white, the sheriff is white. Everybody that's in any position of power that makes decisions is white. And this city is 51% black. That wouldn't happen anywhere else in this country.
we've got a majority of black people on
51%.
this council. On this council.
That's right.
We have probably a majority of department heads in this city.
They don't make decisions.
Oh, yes, they do.
Listen, I know
I'm
that.
sorry, your time's up. 3 minutes is
Let
up.
me tell you.
No, sir, your
Call
time's
the
up.
police, do whatever you want.
You know, we've been through this before. I hate to have you removed, but your time is
You
up.
can do that. Have me removed. Send me to jail. That's fine with me.
I'm not gonna send you to jail, we just usher you outside.
You can send me to jail. I don't mind. You won't put me in jail, will you? You all gonna do what you're supposed to do, period.
Are there any other citizens to be heard at this time?
I'm George Boston, riding Valdosta, Georgia. I had something I was going to say, but I think I'm going to push y'all out to the back burner. Reverend Floyd Rose is 80 years old, and my heart goes out to him. You may have done everything you're supposed to do, but one thing I know as a human being, there's another thing I know as a black man. We call hell in this country. And a lot of us just don't think we're going to never get no justice here in terms of lines of equality and justice. There are people on that council sitting with you all, you know, who feel the same way I do. They may never say it, but I'm sure heaven going to say it. And so you may think that these issues are small, but they are major, Mr. Mayor and Council. And I've said it to you all many times before. We can act as if though racism does not live here, but I think it made its home here. And I got a historical fact that I can back it up. I got white people who tell me behind the curtain, they know what's going on. And I would go as far as say, I got documents as white folks didn't even. I'm hoping that one day that Valdosta will change from the way she is today. All the work that I've done since I've been here in retirement, it is a disgrace how public and overt racism is in Valdosta. People know it, but people don't say it. I have been fighting for 2 or 3 years. I go across the state of Georgia. Do you all know, Mayor, that 27th will be Memorial Day? Do you all know that?
Yes.
And do you know that there is not a Georgia flag out here at City Hall that's flying? It's disrespectful for the people that moved the Air Force Base and for every veteran that ever served, including me, and the parents who had children to die. That is not a flag on the Red Center over there. That is not a flag on the annex here. There's not a flag on the courthouse. There's not a flag on the museum. There's not a flag in the VA face over here. That isn't by accident. I may not be a rocket scientist, but I'm a rocket chair operator. And I know why you don't fly. I know why you don't fly. And you're not by yourself. Because I got other cities who don't fly. And I got some cities that fly. I'm working on a video now. And when you see it, I'm saying I hope one day that Valdosta take in some citizens that are more diverse and that respect the veterans and the people that move the Air Force Base, including the squadron commanders who ain't saying nothing about it. Y'all excuse me for raising my voice, but that's the way it is.
Thank you, sir. Any other citizens to be heard? Any other citizens to be heard? Thank you all very much. All right, Mark, City Manager.
All right, thank you, Mayor Gill. I'll be brief because I know we've got other places to get to this evening. In front of you, you've got a lot of information on the Juneteenth program coming up, on the dates and the activities there, so please look at that. We're also going to have our second neighborhood walk. We had our first neighborhood walk with Chief Manahan in District 4, and Councilman Howard walked the neighborhood with her, which was just extremely successful. So the next one's going to be June 5th from 4:30 to 6:30. It's going to be in District 6. It's going to start at Williams Street and go to East James Street. Okay, also on June 7th, we're going to have our mural unveiling. What building is it, Ashley?
It's where WCTV is in Brassville.
Right, on the corner there with the WCTV TV station is, there's a big blank wall there. And we're going to have a mural unveiling there. I think when you see it, you're going to be very proud of it. It looks very nice for our downtown. Also, we're going to have a Super Dad 5K in downtown Valdosta on June 15th. It's our first time we're trying this, and I think it's going to be fun. It's going to end up at Georgia Beer Company. So I think some folks may skip the run and just go to the end of the race, maybe. But that's June 15th. Also, you know, we listened to folks that wanted to do some things with food trucks, do a little more to incorporate them into downtown in our community. So we started every third Thursday, we're going to have food trucks that are going to line up out here in front of our little grassy park out here. We're going to shut down that part of Lee Street, line the food trucks up, and we're going to have a nice little table area for folks to take over from the food truck and eat and participate with the food truck. So I'll tell you, this has really generated a lot of good positive comments for us. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have a little entertainment there as well for folks. So, but I'll keep you reminded of that as it gets closer. But right now, it's going to be the third Thursday of each month, starting in June. And other than that, Mayor, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Council comments.
Mayor, I'd like to remind the council members that we have been invited to have breakfast with the school crossing guard tomorrow. And they are bringing in the police department give this breakfast in the new school term. And those who can, let's show up at 9 o'clock in the morning that bring it in to let them know how we appreciate the job that they do every day for our precious commodity in our community, our children.
Amen. Any other council comments?
Yes, sir, I have two requests that I would like for the mayor, the city manager, and the council to at least listen. I wrote it down to make sure I don't word it where you won't understand what I'm saying. I have two. We have asked that at least 2 council members be a part of the promotion board and the succession plans for offices such as city manager, assistant city manager, police, and fire chief. We should be a part of making selections on this board. I think it's time that, since we serve the city and people come to us with their requests and etc., I feel that 2 members of the council should be a part of that board. My next request is that I ask that we put money in the budget for training for internal candidates for higher positions. We need to try our best to train within for management and supervisory positions, we need more professional training within the city, because we have workers that work 30 years and et cetera on these jobs, and they cannot be promoted because they're not getting the training in the location. If you train a man to start from the bottom and we get some inside training from HR, they can be promoted to some of these positions within our city, and we would not have to keep going out to hire people, because there's nothing better than a person that have started from the bottom and worked their way up. They're going to stay here forever. They're not going to leave. And if you give them the training within HR, there can be promotion done within the city. Being a previous law enforcement officer, I worked as an officer on the floor, and we cross-trained that if our supervisor was out of town, someone could step up and do that job. Didn't get the big head, you step back down when that person came back to their location. Then when the promotion came up, you were qualified to do the job. We went as far as captain, lieutenant, sergeant, captain, all of that from officers. At the city, we should be doing that same thing. I said yesterday at an anniversary appreciation for our city employees. I heard Mr. Mathis got up and spoke that he was once a trash collector, and now he's the director of that department. If you take a man from the bottom and take him to the top, he'll work his behind off. But we got these people here that is working, and we're not training them to do anything but pick up trash. These positions that we're spending money for, these captains and these chiefs, they get all our training and then they go somewhere else. If we train from within and give our people a chance to get these positions, they'll stay here. Their children are here, their homes are here, their family is here. That's where we're using money at. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
For me to clearly understand what you're saying, on hiring department head, you stated that you saying that we need to create a board with the assistant.
The
city
board has
manager.
already been created. 2 positions from council should be allowed to be a part of that board.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Yes.
You saying the assistant city manager.
City manager, fire chief, police chief, someone from city council should be able to sit on those boards to be able to listen, be able to put input, be able to make the decisions. Who's going to be hired? Because we going outside, get people to other towns, they coming in here, they get all the training, they take it and take it somewhere else. Then we got to start back over again. If we, some of us can sit on the board, not saying me, somebody sit on this board to be able to put some input on these positions. Just something to think about.
I think she's saying besides the city manager,
We got a great city manager. I'm not talking
besides
about
the city manager, she was just saying she thinks we need 2 council members as well as the city manager to be on the board to make a decision. I think that's what she's my understanding.
Any other comments?
Well, I think that's a good idea. I support it.
Yeah.
if we have to go to G.B.R to get this approved, we need to research it and see if there's some ways that we can look into changing the procedure, how it's being done now.
The way and this is just the way we're set up right now, it's good. The way our city is run, we are the council is for policies and things like that, not to get involved into because it puts politics involved in hiring, and that's something that can cause some problems.
So you're saying we can't look into
We
it?
can't without changing our charter.
So we can change our chart.
We have to go, it's something that we'll have to vote on and bring it up to
That's
the
why I was saying, that's why
legislature.
I didn't say change it today.
First.
I made it as a thought that we can
It
look
has
into it and something we can do about it.
It has to be brought up to the legislature the first in the
But
next
there's always
session.
change.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree.
All right.
All right, any other comments? Okay, in that case, I'll entertain.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All